Welcome to Geography Facts for Falling Asleep. Lean back, get comfortable, and let yourself drift away as we slowly journey through one of the most fascinating countries on Earth. Tonight, we are traveling to Brazil, a land of vibrant rhythms, immense rainforests, endless coastlines, and extraordinary diversity. This is not a fast ride. This is a calm journey, guiding you gently with stories and facts about Brazil until your eyes become heavy. Brazil is the largest country in South America, stretching across almost half the continent. It borders nearly every South American country except Chile and Ecuador, making it one of the most connected countries geographically. Covering more than 8.5 million square kilometers, Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world, both in land area and in population. More than 215 million people call this vast nation home, spread across bustling cities, sleepy coastal villages, farmlands, and remote rainforest communities. The country is defined by its natural wonders. The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the earth, lies in Brazil's northern region. It is the largest rainforest in the world, filled with towering trees, mysterious rivers, and an astonishing diversity of life. Jaguars, pink river dolphins, sloths, toucans, and thousands of other species live here. The Amazon River itself is one of the longest and mightiest rivers in the world, carrying more water than any other. Its winding path is like a living artery that nourishes the rainforest and the countless communities that live along its banks. Brazil's landscapes are incredibly varied. In the northeast, you will find golden beaches where the Atlantic Ocean sparkles under the tropical sun. In the interior, vast savannas and grasslands spread out, known as the Cerrado, one of the richest ecosystems in the world. The south is home to rolling hills, farmlands, and cooler climates, with strong European influences in its towns and traditions. And along the border with Argentina and Paraguay, the thundering Iguazu Falls cascade in a breathtaking display of natural power, larger and wider than even Niagara Falls. But Brazil is not just nature. It is also people and culture. Brazil's history begins with its indigenous peoples, who lived across these lands long before Europeans arrived. They developed rich traditions, languages, and ways of life that still influence Brazilian culture today. In 1500, Portuguese explorers arrived, and Brazil became a colony of Portugal. Over the centuries, millions of Africans were forcibly brought to Brazil through the transatlantic slave trade, and their descendants contributed enormously to Brazilian music, religion, dance, and cuisine. Waves of immigrants from Italy, Germany, Japan, the Middle East, and many other regions also shaped Brazil, creating one of the most diverse societies in the world. Today, Brazil is a melting pot of cultures, expressed in its music, food, art, and festivals. Perhaps the most famous festival of all is the Rio Carnival, held every year before Lent. It is often called the biggest party on earth. Streets fill with parades of dancers in dazzling costumes. Samba music echoes through the air, and millions of visitors join in the celebration. Samba itself, a musical and dance style born in Brazil, reflects the blend of African rhythms and Brazilian traditions. Another iconic Brazilian sound is bossa nova, a smooth, relaxing style of music that became world famous in the 20th century, with songs like The Girl from Ipanema. Brazil is also a land of sport. Football, or soccer as some call it, is almost a religion here. The country has produced legends like Pelé, Zico, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Neymar. Brazil has won the FIFA World Cup 5 times, more than any other country. And when the national team plays, cities seem to pause as millions watch together. Football fields, known as peladas, can be found in every neighborhood, from the beaches of Rio de Janeiro to small rural villages. The cuisine of Brazil is just as diverse as its people. The national dish, feijoada, is a hearty stew of black beans and pork, often enjoyed with rice, greens, and orange slices. In Bahia, a region with strong African influences, dishes like acarajé and moqueca are bursting with flavor. In the south, churrasco, or Brazilian barbecue, is a tradition where skewers of meat are grilled over open flames and served in endless rounds. Across the country, you'll find pão de queijo, or cheese bread, a beloved snack, and brigadeiros, sweet chocolate truffles that are favorites at celebrations. Tropical fruits like mango, papaya, guava, and acai are everywhere, refreshing under the hot sun. Religion plays an important role in Brazilian life. While most Brazilians identify as Christian, especially Roman Catholic, there is also a strong presence of Protestant communities, as well as Afro-Brazilian religions like Candomblé and Umbanda. These faiths blend African spiritual traditions with Catholic elements and indigenous practices, creating something unique to Brazil. Festivals honoring saints, rituals with drums and dance, and processions filled with color show how spirituality is woven into everyday life. Brazil's cities each tell their own story. Rio de Janeiro is famous around the world for its beaches, mountains, and the towering Christ the Redeemer statue that watches over the city from atop Corcovado Mountain. São Paulo is the largest city in Brazil and one of the biggest in the world, a massive metropolis of skyscrapers, traffic, and endless cultural opportunities. Salvador, in the Northeast, is one of the oldest colonial cities in the Americas, filled with colorful houses, cobblestone streets, and Afro-Brazilian culture. Manaus, deep in the Amazon, grew from the rubber trade and is now a gateway to the rainforest. Porto Alegre, Recife, Curitiba, each adds its own unique flavor to the Brazilian story. The economy of Brazil is the largest in South America, with strengths in agriculture, mining, energy, and industry. It is one of the world's biggest producers of coffee, soybeans, sugar, and beef. Coffee in particular has a long history here, and Brazil remains the #1 coffee producer in the world. The country is also rich in natural resources, from iron ore to oil. Yet, despite its wealth, Brazil faces challenges such as poverty, inequality, and environmental pressures, especially in protecting the Amazon rainforest. Speaking of the Amazon, it is both Brazil's greatest treasure and one of its greatest responsibilities. The forest produces vast amounts of oxygen, stores enormous quantities of carbon, and supports a breathtaking variety of plants and animals. But deforestation, often driven by logging and agriculture, threatens this ecosystem. Around the world, people watch Brazil's decisions closely, knowing that the health of the Amazon affects the entire planet. Brazil is a young country. In terms of its population, a large percentage of Brazilians are under 30, and this youth brings energy, creativity, and innovation. In music, art, fashion, and technology, Brazil's younger generations are shaping the future. At the same time, traditional values of family, community, and celebration remain strong. As we travel through Brazil in our minds, let us now arrive at its heart, the capital city of Brasilia. Unlike many other capitals around the world, Brasilia is relatively new. It was inaugurated in 1960, chosen by then President Juscelino Kubitschek to encourage development in Brazil's interior and to symbolize a modern future. In less than 4 years, an entire city was built from scratch on the central plateau of Brazil. Brasilia is unique for its design. From above, the city looks like an airplane, with wide avenues forming the wings, residential blocks in ordered patterns, and the government buildings located in the cockpit. The architecture, designed by Oscar Niemeyer, is futuristic and bold. The National Congress, with its 2 towers and dish-shaped chambers, is one of the city's most striking landmarks. The presidential palace, known as Palácio da Alvorada, and the Supreme Court are also here, making Brasilia the political center of the nation. But Brasilia is not just about politics. It is also a cultural hub with theaters, museums, and universities. The city has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its modernist architecture and urban planning. While it may lack the beaches of Rio or the hustle of São Paulo, Brasilia represents Brazil's ambition and identity as a modern nation. And so, as our journey through Brazil comes to a gentle close, we reflect on all that this country embodies: the power of the Amazon, the joy of carnival, the passion for football, the flavors of its cuisine, the diversity of its people, and the vision of its capital city, Brasilia. So now, let the rhythms of samba and the calm voice of these geography facts stay with you as you drift into sleep. Good night from Brazil.